I'm Mark Engler. I'm the department head and the technical director and lighting and sound designer for the program. I teach stagecraft and lighting and sound design are the two main courses that I teach. I also supervise Theater 370, which is technical theater production, so that's all of the students who design for the shows, supervise them, and then the practicum courses.
In my role as assistant professor of musical theater, I teach all of our musical theater classes, so that's acting song 1 and 2, as well as musical theater audition and development of musical theater. I also teach classes in business of acting, acting 1, dramatic literature, and intro to theater. Not only do you get a great musical theater education, but you're also getting a very well-rounded theater education. In a lot of musical theater programs, you're going to solely focus on musical theater and nothing else. Whereas Theater NDSU also makes sure that you are taking voice and movement classes, that you are getting advanced acting training, that you are reading a lot of plays as well as experiencing musicals. You have performance opportunities in plays, in musicals, in devised pieces. So the breadth and scope of what we do as musical theater artists here is much larger than a conservatory program.
I think our program is a really good size. It's not so big that the competition is so fierce that you won't get an opportunity to perform or to design, but we're also not so small that the production values aren't very interesting.
So I teach intro to set design, scenic painting. I also teach all the drawing and rendering classes here, including drafting. We do hand drafting and we do CAD drafting, which is computer drafting. I also teach the upper level design classes. The great thing about our program is you will have a hands-on education. You will have faculty that aren't just teaching you in classes, but also teaching you in production on stage. Many of us continue to work as theater professionals, I know I do. And it's really important for my students to learn the professional way of conducting themselves as designers, as technicians. So they'll be ready when they go out to the real world and get some really awesome jobs.
Here at NDSU, I teach a broad range of courses. I'll teach beginning and advanced levels of acting. I'll teach beginning and advanced levels of physical theater and movement. I'll teach the voice for the actor progression, so beginning levels of vocal production up to dialects, and I also teach devising and creating ensemble-based theater, and I will teach a lecture-based course in world theater, so studying theater forms from around the world that are not primarily Western European. One of the things I will say about why you should come to Theater NDSU is we are student-centered. We're very much interested in you, and we're very much interested in your growth. We don't have a cut program. We nurture our students. We tend to think of ourselves as sort of like a family, and when the student comes in, we're very much here to meet you and your needs, and there's quite a range for what you can do at Theater NDSU, and depending on what your curiosities are, we are here to meet those.
I teach mainly classes related to costume design. So that would be costume design, costume craft, makeup design, history of dress and decor 1 and 2, and then different applied classes like 370 practicums. NDSU is really unusual for the number of opportunities given to undergraduate students. Things like designing shows, main stage shows, directing, even main stage shows sometimes. Those are privileges usually reserved for a graduate student. But here we have a great support system for undergrad students that allows them to take advantage of those opportunities.
One of the things I love about Theater NDSU is our size. You know, I've worked at bigger departments, and one of the things that happens is there's so many students. For me, the students get lost. But here, because we are a smaller size department, I love that I get to know my students.
Most of our classes here are somewhere between usually 10 to 15 students, which helps me as a professor get to know my students extremely well, work with them on a much more individual basis. And especially if we are comparing musical theater conservatory programs with our program here, the students are getting much more individualized attention.
I love that I get to watch them grow throughout their 4 years. I also love that our students have an opportunity to expand their boundaries in their curiosities. So as much as we're training the theater artists, we're also training compassionate people and really well-rounded human beings.